Welcome back. The trial of actor Kevin Spacey is continuing in London this morning. The actor arrived to court for another day of testimony. Yesterday, the first of 4 alleged victims spoke out, saying he was groped and grabbed against his will by the actor a dozen times over the course of 5 years. Spacey faces a number of allegations of sexual assault. He's pleaded not guilty to all charges. NBC News legal analyst Danny Cevallos joins us now to discuss. Hi, Danny. Happy 4th. Thank you for being here. So yesterday, the court was shown a recording of a police interview with an alleged victim where he describes Spacey as a predator, says the actor tried to, quote, groom him. Walk us through the prosecution strategy by starting with this footage. What did you think about that?
Boy, what I think about is the fact that even though we borrowed our legal system from Great Britain, it often bears little resemblance, especially in a criminal trial. And nothing is more evident of that than the fact that the prosecution is playing interview tapes, which are normally something that doesn't come in unless it's against the defendant's own interview tapes, him making admissions. In this case, the state is using them. I said the state, I should say the Crown. The Crown is using these tapes to really set the stage, to describe that essentially this victim, this accuser, made a prompt report, which is something that is significant in American law, that this was something that was reported to the police or that there was a record made of it. And then going forward, that will be bolstered by the witness testimony of other witnesses, which, by the way, is very different than our system, because the purpose for these witnesses is often something that wouldn't even be allowed in the United States due to the Confrontation Clause and our rules of evidence.
Danny, this morning so far, we're hearing from witnesses connected to the first accuser. I believe so far we've heard from a former partner as well as the brother of the accuser. What can you tell us about what we've heard so far and the strategy on that?
And so now that's exactly what I was talking about just before, which is that now you have the Crown introducing evidence of other people that the victim or accuser may have spoken to. Now, sometimes that'll come in American law, maybe to show that a prompt report was made. But, for example, the brother of the accuser said, essentially, my brother would never allow Kevin Spacey to do this. That's a form of character evidence, which would never really come in American legal, in American evidentiary law. But here in Great Britain, that kind of evidence is allowed. On the whole, Britain's evidence rules and other protections make it a lot easier, in my view, for the Crown to achieve a conviction in a sexual assault case.
Yeah, so Danny, I want to ask you about another one of these kind of differences between there and here, things that we might not be as familiar with when watching a trial like this unfold. Different rules there also around alleged victims of sexual offenses. In most cases, they have lifelong anonymity. What does that look like in a trial?
It's amazing because it brings to mind our American First Amendment and also the Constitution's Confrontation Clause. Now, on the one hand, the reason that most of us don't know who these victims are really isn't so much a function of the court. It's a function of a British law that restricts what the media can report about that victim. So, in a sense, it's not so much that the victim is sealed in terms of evidence, which the victim is, make no mistake about it, but also the media is threatened upon contempt of court if they release information that even allows us, the public, to piece together who the victim is. But at the same time, you have adult victims in Great Britain testifying behind a curtain, and the defendant cannot even see the victim. That's the kind of thing that just wouldn't happen in American courts. I've even had clients whose convictions were overturned based on violations of the Confrontation Clause. So this is something very different and, in my view, makes it easier for the Crown to achieve a conviction.
Danny Cevallos, thank you very much.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.